Sali Gasti, Randi are some of the words that I only recently learned, but I'm still the loud, bubbly girl that loves to dance. Now also apparently a whore. Unknown to me, there's a lot more that comes with it. Society won't accept. Your mother will not accept it, and I will tell your mother. The way that I dealt with it is that
सीखिए स्पोकन इंग्लिश, पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट और बहुत कुछ इंडिया के टॉप एक्सपर्ट्स के साथ। आज ही जोश स्किल्स ऐप पर अपने मनपसंद कोर्स को शुरू करिए। डाउनलोड द ऐप टुडे।
Have you ever felt shocked at something you saw in your DMs, message requests, or something publicly in someone's comment section? Have you been humiliated, shocked, disgusted, violated? And have you not known how to respond to that, perhaps? Have you been on the sending end? Have you taken out your frustration, been immature, not aware enough, and ended up in someone's DMs as the bully? Then this video is for you. Hi, my name's Jattana. I'm 20 years old. I'm a social media activist. I accidentally started focusing a lot on cyberbullying and harassment because of my own experiences. It wasn't something I set out to do, but here we are. So I'll be sharing 3 stories with you today. And if you resonate with it, if that's something you've experienced, do let me know in the comment section below. A year ago, I started TikTok to have fun, to bond with my younger sister, to bond with my culture. I am Punjabi. I enjoy the music, I enjoy dressing up, and that's something that I wanted to do. Unknown to me, there's a lot more that comes with it. Specifically, backlash. Not particularly about anything, but my character. Now, I will make it very clear, my character is not up for judgment through 15-second videos. But that's what it feels like to some people. Maybe they've grown up that way. I guess I set out to change that. A lot of the things that I received were around the lines on how to assassinate my character publicly. Sali Gasti, Randi are some of the words that I only recently learned. I didn't even know these words existed. I didn't know what they meant. I was shocked at first when you see them. When you've just been having fun with your sister, when you've been dancing, dressing up, and suddenly you're a whore, is what you're branded, a whore. Now, how do you deal with that? I had to learn that the hard way by obviously having to deal with that, and here I am today. My life could have been very different, but I'm still the loud, bubbly girl that loves to dance. Now also apparently a whore, which is fine. The way that I dealt with it is that there was some sort of power in those words I didn't know about. People around me were very shocked to read those words because they grew up with them. People in the Punjabi culture were like, they're saying these things to you, and I was like, I don't even know what they mean. But once I got to know what it meant, it was a bit shocking. It was a bit like, is that who I am? Is that my character now? You have to take the power away, and that's what I did. Once I started using those words myself to the abusers who would say those to me, I would say them back. I'd be like, is this who I am? You start saying those words more and more. You start using them in your vocabulary, which as a woman, you're not allowed to do. Time to change that. The power isn't in those words anymore. It doesn't seem so scary anymore. And what does it even mean? Is that who I am? And who are they to brand me that? The power shifts. It goes from the hands of the abuser into your hands. Now I have the power. Am I a whore? I decide that. Today I'm not. If I want to have fun, if I want to make videos, I want to do a little dance, I will do that, and I am not a whore. You don't decide that. The day that I decide my character is now bad, I will tell you, but you do not decide that. It's not that they are angry that I'm replying. It's angry that I am replying the whore. Wapas jawab de diya. She's responded to what we've said, and that's the problem. So respond as much as you want. Please take the power back in your hands. The more I did this, the more I dealt with people online, it started coming from public profiles. And I've noticed that a lot of them are young men with public profiles. They are confident in who they are. They are confident in showing us their face, their identity, where they've gone to school, everything. They ask you to do things to them. They tell you what they want to do to you. And the first time that I experienced this, I got this kind of message, I was quite shocked. The first 20 seconds, I guess, are the hardest. That's when you decide what you will do. Will you argue? Will you retaliate? Will you try to humiliate them? Will you silence yourself? Go to sleep, delete your account? The first 20 seconds is when you decide what you will do. One day was different. I received a message to show myself, show your boobs, show your body, this is what I will do to you. I first saw that and I was like, you're a really young boy. I was like, you're like 17 or 18. I was like, what makes you say this? And I asked him. I was like, what's going on? Why do you want to have sex with me? You don't even know me. Where is this coming from? Not much of an answer. He retaliated. He got angry that I responded, I suppose. Now, what I could have done is deleted the message and he would have ended up in somebody else's DMs. Very easy to assume that. That's what we see. I received that message because he's already been there. Someone has already ignored him. Someone has already submitted to what he said, and he's felt confident enough to now do that to me. The thing that I decided to do, I took a screenshot, and I was like, what do we do with this information? What do we do with this information of this young boy sexually harassing me online? I would say, how do we humiliate him? Because I felt humiliated, I felt violated, and I needed to kind of get that out. I needed to feel like myself again. I needed to take that power back and not feel so ashamed, even though I haven't even done anything. I went to his profile, everything public. I know where he goes to school. I know how old he is. I know where he lives. I know who his closest friends are. Do his closest friends know that this is what he does online? Now they do. Went through his following, went through his tagged. All of his friends, I sent that screenshot to. And I left a little message. I was like, if you have women in your family, make sure that they don't receive this from him. What was the response? 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed. I'd almost forgotten until I got a response. I am so sorry. Wasn't from the boy himself, but his friends. Slowly, more responses coming in. I am so sorry. Forgive me for what he's done. When I actually talked to the boy, he was not sorry. He was not sorry at all. He was not ashamed. Because nothing had happened, nothing had changed in his life. I had felt violated. My life felt like it had changed. I then found out where he goes to school. I was like, this is where he goes to school. They should know this is the kind of student that they are raising. If you go to school and this is what you come back with, your school should know. Their email is there. I've sent them the screenshot. I've given them a call. I very calmly explained the situation to them. A student of yours has sexually harassed me online, and what are you going to do about it? The contact details were given to me. I could speak to his parents. A lot could happen from that. But the boy's demeanor changed. In those 15 minutes, he had completely changed. Was that because he had never dealt with the consequences before? And this is the first time that he's seen that when you put something out online, there are consequences. You will be told what you can do and what you can't do, and you will be accountable for it. That is a crime. He had committed a crime. And now he was dealing with it. A lot of people from that school slowly started messaging me when I put this information online, what I had done. When I put it online, I got a lot of messages saying, we went to school with him. I am so glad that you are talking about it. His school reached out to me, apologized. It's not so much about the apology anymore. It's about the people seeing this, knowing that if you end up in somebody's DMs like this can happen to you. And it is completely valid. When you put yourself out there and you commit a crime, you sexually harass somebody, your life should also be altered. If you've hurt somebody, if you've harmed somebody, if you felt entitled enough to do that, this is what will happen. But these comments are something we see publicly. This is something that happens to everybody, and this is how society is dealing with it and changing with the time. what else I need society to do is really look inwards. What's happening in your own family? One incident that happened with me that I will never forget is I've been very open with my mother from the very start. Ever since I've known that a person can be good and bad, I've shared that with my mother. Where I've made mistakes, I've gone up to my mother and I've made sure she knows her daughter is not perfect. Now, who didn't know that is a boy I was dating for a very, very short period of time, very entitled man. But what I realized about him is that maybe he doesn't do that with his family. Maybe he doesn't share things as much as I did. Maybe his family didn't know what kind of person he was. He came up to me one day and he goes, "You haven't been spending a lot of time with me." And I told him, I was like, "We're not together anymore. I don't want to do this. Let's end things." He's like, "You like somebody else." I'm like, "That is none of your business. But please, let's end things." Very clear message. No beating around the bush. Let's end things. That was not the answer he wanted or expected. And he responded back with, "I'll tell your mother what you've been doing." What have I been doing? Liking boys? My mother knows. "I'll tell your mother what you've been doing. I'll tell her everything. I'll show her that photo of you and me on that boat once." I was like, oh my God. For him, it was a very big deal that I was a person that dated, that had fun, that wanted to live my life. It was fine with him as long as I was doing it with him, as long as I was dating him. But when I wasn't, it became a thing that society won't accept. Your mother will not accept it, and I will tell your mother. I told him, please, no, don't tell her. I was like, I'll do anything. And what he wanted was a compromise. You either keep dating me or you do this. This happens to a lot of people. I'm sure you've heard of this or it's happened to you. So you know what I'm talking about. A compromise is what he wanted, for me to compromise, for me to be submissive, for me to submit. I played along for a little bit. I was like, what is it that you want? Give me your demands. But when I went home that day, I told my mother, I was like, you need to make a phone call. You need to make it clear to the culture that we live in, to the society, to the community, that you know who your daughter is. And you know what she does, what she doesn't do, what she likes, what she doesn't like. But your daughter will not compromise to a man that is blackmailing her. I was like, you make it clear. Either you call him, his family, his mother, his father, his grandparents, I don't care what you do, but this is when you stand up for me. And she did. She already knows that I go get coffee with a boy. She already knows what kind of coffee I like. She already knows that if I'm out drinking coffee with a boy, I might take a photo. It is not news to her. It was news to that boy that he couldn't blackmail me. There was no power. The power was with me. I took the lead. That is what they do. They blackmail you. They think they have the power and there's nothing that you can do. Look for that strength within you, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it if you want to live your life the way you want to. Before ending this talk, I have a message. For those that feel abusing someone online, sexually harassing them in any way, is the answer to solve any of your problems. Your 15 minutes of amusement or anger or frustration or your lack of awareness, your immaturity, can ruin 15 years of someone's life. If the next time you feel assassinating someone's character, blackmailing them, pushing them to their edge, those 15 minutes can solve something in your life, think about what the next 15 years may be for that person. And if you've been on the receiving end like me, this is the time that you decide how it affects you. What will the next 15 years of your life be? Will they be, this happened to me, I cannot believe it? Or will they be, this happened to me and this is how I dealt with it? Will you be telling your story to inspire others? Or will you be going to sleep feeling pretty sad about it? I hope not. There is not enough power in these words to make you feel that way. I've spent days sleeping and being sad that way, until I realized there's no power. The power is within me. Who is somebody to tell me that the power is not with me? I tell myself, and you tell yourself. So decide what the next 15 years of your life will be. Decide, pick your battles. Be the person that decides. That's all. Let these messages come if they come. But now you decide how they will be dealt with. Make sure that people are dealing with the consequences. Make sure that you're being the society that we talk about. Make sure you're being the change that we want to see. Make sure you're being supportive, loving, and you're listening. Listening to the things that are happening around you and making sure that you're being that change. I am. It's not easy, but it's what the next generation needs. It's what a safer internet needs. It's for you to stand up today. Thank you.
क्या आप अपने करियर और जिंदगी के ग्रोथ से खुश हैं? सैटिस्फाइड हैं? हमारे करवाए गए एक सर्वे के मुताबिक 75% से ज्यादा लोगों का यह कहना है कि अगर वो अपनी पर्सनालिटी, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स और इंग्लिश फ्लुएंसी पर ज्यादा फोकस कर पाते तो वो अपने करियर में बहुत आगे होते। मैं नहीं चाहता हूं कि आप भी उन 75% लोगों में से हो, इसलिए मैं आपको एक सुझाव देना चाहता हूं। एक ऐसा सुझाव जिसने आज तक 1,30,000 से ज्यादा लोगों की मदद की है इंग्लिश, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स और पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट में। जी हाँ, मैं बात कर रहा हूं इंडिया के टॉप इंग्लिश एंड पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट ऐप की, जिसका नाम है जोश स्किल्स। नाम तो सुना ही होगा। ये ऐप आपको कैसे हेल्प करेगा? जोश स्किल्स का हर एक कोर्स डिजाइन है आपको जिंदगी में आगे बढ़ाने के लिए। चलिए स्पोकन इंग्लिश की ही बात कर लेते हैं। रोजाना इस कोर्स में आपको मिलेंगे वीडियो लेसन्स, क्विजेस, प्रैक्टिसेस एंड फेस टू फेस दूसरे स्टूडेंट्स के साथ बात करने का मौका। आप क्या सही बोलते हैं और क्या गलत, हर एक चीज पर आपको फीडबैक भी दिया जाएगा। और तो और लर्निंग को मजेदार बनाने के लिए आपको पॉइंट्स भी मिलेंगे और टॉप स्कोरर्स को हमारे तरफ से अवार्ड्स मिलेंगे। इससे बेहतर लर्निंग क्या हो सकती है? सिर्फ यही नहीं, हमने इस ऐप को बदलकर एक ब्रांड न्यू लुक और फील दिया है ताकि आपकी लर्निंग और भी इफेक्टिव हो और आप अपनी जिंदगी में आगे बढ़ पाए। आज ही डाउनलोड करिए जोश स्किल्स ऐप और अपनी जिंदगी में आगे बढ़िए।